y a si longtemps déjà. J'ai oublié comment. Tant de mots, de moments pensés depuis longtemps. Devant ce mur muet, faut chercher autrement. Des photos, des regrets, pour que ça nous revienne.
Hello, and welcome to the Knitting with Cat Hair podcast. My name is Nikki. I'm also known as Knitting with Cat Hair on Instagram and Cat Hair Knitting on Ravelry. I'm coming to you from Sabri, Ontario, Canada, which lies atop the traditional lands of the Tegid and Anishinaabeg people, where I live with my fiance, our 2 daughters, and our 5 cats. And this is primarily a knitting podcast. However, sometimes I talk about some of the other crafts I'm getting into, such as cross-stitch crochet and potentially macrame at some point. So if this is your first time here, a big warm welcome. And if this is, if you're a returning viewer, a big welcome back. I'm so thrilled that you guys have chosen to take time out of your day to spend with me. It means so much to me. So I hope everyone is doing well. It's been 3 weeks since my last podcast, and there's not too much going on. I'll talk about some upcoming life stuff at the end of the podcast, so if you don't want to stick around for that kind of thing, we'll just stick to the knitting chat up front. So first off, just a few admin things. So we still have the Around the World Make-Along happening in the Knitting with Cat Hair podcast group on Ravelry. We're in the second trimester and it's closing at the end of August. So today, I believe, is August 28th. So there's a few days left to get your finished objects posted to the finished objects thread to be eligible. We're knitting with yarns and from designers from the Eastern Hemisphere. I think I've decided that this will be the first prize. I mentioned this on a previous episode at the end of the episode, so I'm not sure how many people actually saw it, but this will be the prize up for grabs for the Eastern Hemisphere make-along. So this is 1 skein of natural U mulberry silk mohair. It's a 72% mohair, 28% silk blend in the colorway Lemonade, and it was kindly donated by an anonymous donor. So thanks again. And so this is up for grabs for this round, and I will, just as I did previously, I'll do like a random comment picker, random number generator in the comments on the finished objects thread to choose who's going to be the winner. And I'll post that potentially on September 1st. I'll try to get it done as quick as possible. And so we're going to be moving into our last trimester. So it's 4 months long. It starts September 1st. And this time we'll be using yarns and knitting from patterns from designers on the Western Hemisphere side. So the prize for that one will be this lovely variegated 4-ply fingering, 100% untreated merino, 100 gram, 400 meter skein from Natural U, again kindly donated by kindly donated by an anonymous donor, and the colorway is Magnolia in Bloom, and it's just so beautiful. So that's up for the next trimester. We also have another make-along. I guess it is a make-along because you can do crochet as well as knitting, and that is the A Year of Marie Wallin Cal that's happening over on Instagram. So all you have to do is have casted on a project or design by Marie Wallin after August 1st of this year, and it's going to be running until August 1st of next year. And just use the hashtag on Instagram, and there's lots of prizes being offered up. So yeah, and we've created a little group on Instagram, like a chat group where we're all sharing pictures and just chatting and setting up Zoom calls. We're having our first Zoom call today. So yeah, it's really fun. Really, it's a great little group. Everyone's so supportive and helpful. So yeah, if you'd like to be a part of that group as well, just send me a quick message on Instagram and I'll get you added. So yeah, I think that's it for admin stuff. And now I'm going to continue on with Paying the Love Forward, and I'm going to provide you with 2 podcast recommendations. So the first one is the Little Fern and Fibers podcast. Ellie is the hostess of this podcast, and she's so sweet and so gentle, and her podcast is very lovely to watch. And she just finished making, it was a Wool and Honey by Andrea and Mowry that turned out just gorgeously. And yeah, she has a husband and a little one on the way. So yeah, it's pretty exciting times over there, I think. So yeah, you should definitely check that out. And of course, I'll leave a link down below to her podcast. And the second podcast I'd like to recommend is the Haxton Knits podcast. I believe the hostess is Deanna. She is an American that lives over in Japan, in Okinawa. And she's a master knitter, and I find her podcast so interesting because she is exploring so many different techniques and classical styles of knitting and projects. And she always incorporates a little bit of life in Okinawa, which I find so intriguing as well. So yeah, you may want to check out Haxton Knits. I'll leave a link down below. Okay, now let's get right into the knitting chat. So I'll start with what I'm wearing. I am wearing my summer version of the Ranunculus. I'll just stand up so you can see it a little better. Yeah, I knit this up out of Illimani Sabri, which is a cotton alpaca blend. It's very light. Obviously, I did it at a very loose gauge. So I just have it, I wear it over top of either a tank top with some jeans or shorts or whatever. But today I have it over top of a linen dress, and it's very nice and light. Yeah, okay, so moving into, I have no finished objects today, none, and no new cast-ons. So this is kind of just like a catch-up from all my other projects I've been working on, but I do have a half-finished object. So I finished my first Beatrix sock. Oh, looks so pretty. And this is a pattern by Sabrina Justine Knits. And it is a colorwork sock, obviously, 2 colors. And I love it. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. And I think I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again because I'm very thankful. But I won a giveaway on Instagram that Sabrina Justine Knits was holding. And not only did I win her lovely pattern, but she actually sent me the yarn as well that she designed the pattern in. So I knitted up out of that yarn as well. So yeah, very thankful for that. And so let's talk about the yarn. The yarn is Garthenor Organics Snowdonia sock. And the 2 colorways are Tegid and Glaslyn. Oh, I'm just trying to find the tag for the other one. Here we go. Okay, so there's the Tegid. It's the darker gray. And this is a 50% Romney, 50% Hebridean. And then the Glaslyn is the lighter color, and it's 90% Romney, 10% Hebridean. And yeah, they're so lovely together. So they're not a traditional sock yarn. They don't have any nylon in them or anything. They're 100% wool. So it'll be interesting to see how these hold up. But yeah, these are going to be probably, just given all the effort that's gone into making them, they're going to be house socks for sure. I don't anticipate wearing them in my boots. Yeah, so as I mentioned, there was a bit of a process. Again, no fault of the pattern, absolutely totally me, just trying to figure out my color work gauge. And in the end, I think I've got it. The sock fits, so that's the important thing. And this is the second sock, so I've gotten this far so far. Just doing the leg. So it is a top-down sock. So you knit from the cuff down. And I am using US 3s for the color work. So I used a US 1 for the ribbing, US 3s for the color work. And then for this section here, I used US 1s. and then switch to US 3s again for this portion, and then US 1s. So yeah, color work US 3s, non-color work US 1s. What did I do differently? So I ended up casting on the second size, which is 72 stitches. Normally I'm a 64 stitch sock wearer. So, but with the color work, I guess because it really pulled in, so it fits perfectly fine on the leg. It's not too loose. But I did find, so I had knitted quite a ways down the foot, tried it on, and it was too baggy for my liking. So what I did was I ripped back and I went down to, when you do the gusset decreases, yes. When you do the decreases, I just kept decreasing until I got down to the 64 stitches. And then knit the foot. And I love, love, love the way it's turned out. It's absolutely beautiful. So that is my hoe, my one and only. So next up, I pulled out my Florarium sweater, and this is a pattern by Teti Lutsak, I think. Sorry, I have notes today. I should be using them. Yes, Teti Lutsak. And I have to mention the bag because I love the bag. This is a bag that my mom brought me back from Ecuador when she was over there. And I love it. And it's nice and big and perfect for this project because I am using Nutiden. And as I've explained in the past, Nutiden has a bit of a habit of pulling apart quite easily. So it's nice to have all that extra space in there. Okay, so it is a bottom-up sweater. I'll try to show you. It curls, so of course it's hard to show. I'll show you a corner of it because it's all just the same, basically across. This is the color work. So you do a provisional cast on at the bottom, and I think you go back in and do like some kind of a crocheted edging afterwards. Yeah, so just show you the colors. The camera never does these yarns justice, I find, but they are so beautiful. So I will pop in the names of the colors that I'm using. Again, this is Nutiden by Oner Akair, in two colorways, obviously. So the gray and there's like it's like a tealy, it's a very deep teal. And yeah, I'm loving it. I'm living dangerously here. I've removed the needles and I couldn't find my stitch stoppers. I think they're on another project. So I needed to borrow the needles tips from this project for another project I'm working on. So I'm just hoping I don't lose my stitches. But yeah, I'm really in the groove with the Nutiden. It's, again, I've explained it. It's forced me to slow down and take my time. And it's so lovely. Like I really enjoy it. So I prefer to work on this one outside. I put my skein or my balls on the table and just, relax and take it easy. I have lots of space. So I'm not gonna, tear apart my yarn. And that's how I've been working on this project. And what could I say about this? I am making the size 5 to accommodate my 45-inch bust. And I did do a gauge swatch. I kind of winged it. So I did a gauge swatch, and I mentioned this in a previous podcast. I was having trouble ripping back, and I have very limited quantities of this yarn, so I didn't want to waste any of it. So I did one gauge swatch and then just based my needles on that. So I think I ended up going up. So I'm using a US 9 for the color work. US 9 for the color work and a US 7 for the stockinette portion, non-color work portion. I've discovered that my row gauge is very much off. So I'll be honest, I don't tend to look at row gauge too often, because oftentimes it doesn't matter if a pattern is written for, in measurements. So it'll say, knit body for 13 inches or what have you, as opposed to a number of rows. This one, it was very row specific. So once I completed the rows, I'm supposed to be apparently done. The body, that's way too cropped for me. So yeah, my row gauge was something like how many rows was I getting? 28 per 4 inches, and the recommended or the pattern row gauge is 20. So yeah, I have quite a ways to go. So I'm gonna have to keep on knitting. I just hope I have enough yarn and I don't run out. That's the problem. I might switch to the sleeves and do the sleeves first, and then that way I can just tailor the body length to however much yarn I have left. I might do that. I'm contemplating. That's another reason why I took the needles off of this, the tips off of this project, is because I want to think about it, mull it over a little more. So if you have any opinions, please leave them down below in the comments. So yeah, that's my Florarium. I think it's turning out very lovely, and I'm very much enjoying it. As with all my knits, there's nothing I'm really not enjoying. None of the ones I'm going to show you today am I not enjoying. Okay, so, woo, the wasps love me for some reason. Okay, moving on to the next work in progress, housed in this adorable Blue Rabbit house bag. This Boris Bear, polar bear, is my Nightshift. And that is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. So I've made quite a bit of progress. I put a progress keeper on this one so you can see how much I've done. Let me just get it untangled here. Oh, in the middle of a row again, as per usual. Okay, so that's where I was last time. I had completed this section up to the progress keeper, and now I've done all of this, and it's definitely gotten brighter. But I think keeping that background color, the neutral, helps pare it down. I think I'm loving it. I love it. And I love to watch the colors kind of interact with one another and change, and you never know what color is coming next. And it looks, to me, it looks very pretty. So I'm very happy with it. And I am using 3 colors of Noro Silk Garden, which is, this is the background color that I'm using, the neutral. And this Silk Garden is a 45% silk, 45% mohair, 10% wool. It's very nice. It's soft. I don't find it itchy at all. And then I'm using, I'll just pull out the 2 colors here. I can find it. There. No. There. These are the 2 colors to go with the neutral. So like on their own, I think they look really, really bright, but when you pair it with the neutral, I think it really helps kind of tone it down a bit. So I'm really liking it. And what else can I say about this? I haven't deviated from the pattern at all, other than I'm using a smaller needle size than called for. And this is US 7s. And what else am I doing? Oh, I am deviating because I'm using the same color for the background the whole entire way, and then just alternating between the 2 other colors. And that's, yeah. So anyways, the directions have you do other things. I'm not doing it. So yeah, that's my Nightshift. And I keep forgetting to mention this. I am knitting this up as part of Fernanda and Ruth's knit along. I think it's called Across the Pond. I'll put the proper hashtag down below. But I am knitting this up as part of the make along. So yeah, hopefully I can get it done in time. I think it's till the end of September. Oh gosh, I better double check. If it's the end of August, I think I'm in trouble. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's a fun knit. It's a nice kind of a palette cleanser, I guess, from all the other colorwork projects that I'm working on. Okay, and my final work in progress is, oh, just give me a sec, I'm dropping yarn, is my Chestnut cardigan by Marie Wallin. So I put a progress keeper in. That little mushroom is where I was last time. And I've now completed one full repeat of the pattern. So now I'm just duplicating for the amount of inches required for my size. And loving it. What can I say? I love, love, love knitting on this. And yes, it's knit flat. And yes, I have to purl and color work. But there are only 4 rows. I'm pretty sure it's only 4, where you have to catch floats. So it makes it very easy. Very nice. Very quick. Relatively quick. I'm a slow color work knitter. You may have seen some footage. I think I'm going to put it at the beginning of the video of the podcast of me knitting, and you can see how slow I am because I am an English thrower and I literally drop one color and pick up the next, and it's slow going, but I'm very much enjoying the process. And again, of course, I'm knitting this up for our Marie Wallin make along, and yeah, loving it. Love, love, love it. And it smells so sheepy. So I'm knitting this up in the original yarn. It's gonna look super messy, but here are my colors. There's 8 colors in total. They're all very fall-like colors, which I'm totally here for. Loving the fall colors these days. And what else can I say? I'm making the extra large size. I did a gauge swatch. I should be on gauge. I have to double check these. Size 4. So I'm using US 4s for the main body, and then I think I went down to a US 3 for the ribbing. And it is knit in pieces and seamed, and I'm looking forward to all of it. I think this is a great learning experience, and it's definitely one of those, to me, it's an heirloom piece that, it might take a bit of time, and that's why the make-along is a year long, to selfishly give myself enough time to finish this project. But yeah, I'm very, very, very much enjoying it. And sorry, just so you know what the actual final product will look like. It's this. But I do find that the picture doesn't do the colors justice. Like, the colors are so much more beautiful and vibrant in real life. And there is definitely, would you call that some heathering? I don't know if it's best shown in here. I don't know if you can see, but there's some like yellowy tones and deeper red, and they're multi-dimensional. They're not completely like solid colors, so it makes it very interesting and lovely. So yeah, that is that. And again, I really hope you guys join in with us. We're having so much fun. There's so many other podcasters who have joined in as well, and I'll probably see them talking about it on their podcast, so it's pretty fun. And that is it for all my works in progress. So I have no acquisitions. I've been very good. As mentioned previously, I am on a yarn fast where I am not buying any more yarn because I've bought enough. It's time to start using what I have. Yeah. So even though I have absolutely no business doing this, I have so many projects on the go already. I did go through my stash yesterday, I think. Yesterday or the day before, and started putting things together for new projects. So I have a few future makes that I'll talk about. Okay, so I did mention this already on a previous podcast that I wanted to make the Galdor by Marina Skua, and I bought the pattern as soon as it came out. I think, like, I was so excited to make it. I'll pop a picture in so you know what I'm talking about. So I was going to make them the Galdor. And I had originally purchased these 2 colors of Hillesvåg Solja, I hope I'm saying that right, from Farm to Cable Yarns here in Canada. And this is called Lys Brun, and this is called Lys Rodleg Beige, I think. Yes. I didn't love them together when I got them. I just didn't feel like... So as you can see, the cardigan is there's a bit of color work around the edges, and I just didn't like that it was too low contrast, I think, for my liking. So I went into my stash and I was like, okay, well, what do I have? So firstly, this yarn is, does it say what it is in English? It doesn't. Okay, I think it's 100%. I'm pretty sure it's 100% Norwegian pelt wool. Truthfully, I'm not 100% sure what that means, but it is what it is. So I went stash diving and I remembered that I had an extra skein from Small Bird Workshop, which is a Canadian hand dyer here in Canada, obviously. And this is her Warbler fingering weight, 75% BFL, 25% Gotland wool. It's 2-ply non-superwash, and this is the undyed colorway. And this was a leftover from my, did I mention this? This was a leftover from my woodlark shawl. I always order extras because I'd hate to run out and have to try and match colors. So anyway, so I thought those two looked pretty together. So I think I'll use that instead. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Give me your opinion down below. Do you like the Soya beige color, or do you like the light gray natural color of the Gotland BFL? Yeah, I just think the color work will show up better on this, but yeah, I would love to hear your opinion. So that's the Galdor. And then, was it last episode? I can't recall. Oh, I can't keep them straight. I mentioned that my best friend had gotten me a skein of Zen Yarn Garden, a variegated skein of yarn for my birthday. Very, very kindly gifted it to me. And I wasn't sure what to use it with. And then I started going through my yarn and I realized she's actually gifted me quite a few Zen Yarn Garden skeins. Different colors. So I discovered, I forgot about this one. I think this was a Christmas gift, perhaps last Christmas or the Christmas before from her. Okay, and I have totally botched the winding of this. I'm terrible at reskeining. So I'm gonna just show you what it looks like this way so you can see the colors anyways. It's like this. Okay, it's showing up way brighter on camera. It's actually very like muted jewel tones. And I was like, what, how am I gonna use that? Because it's tricky using variegateds. And actually, Magda gave me a good recommendation for a sweater that she made that was striped. So she used a neutral stripe and then used variegated. Then they were thin stripes, so you didn't get huge, crazy blocks of color or anything like that. It looked really cute on the sweater she made. I can't remember the name of it. I'll pop it in here. But yeah, that's a good recommendation for sure. I am thinking of doing a colorwork sweater with it. So, sorry, first of all, this is Zen Yarn Garden. It's based on their art collection. So this is a Gustav Klimt. Which one is it? The Embrace. And there's the original artwork. You might know Gustav Klimt from the his famous The Kiss painting. It's gorgeous. I'm a big fan. Yeah, so I'm thinking that this, okay, I'm trying to wind it up real quick here. I think that this might pair nicely with I have a sweater's quantity of this yarn from Georgian Bay Fiber Co. It is the 100% untreated blue face Leicester in the colorway Maple. I don't know. I think the colors will show up really nicely, but the brown will kind of mute it. So I'm thinking of a Jennifer Steingass pattern. I already own the pattern for Golden Fern. And that one, I'll pop a picture in so you can see what that one looks like if you're not familiar with it. It has color work at the bottom and on the bottom of the cuffs. So I'm not sure. I had other ideas for that one as well. So I might go looking for a new pattern, something that has color work at the top. And this is fingering weight again. So yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. I don't know, it's always tricky with those variegated skeins. And then the last thing that I'm thinking for a future make, because we're starting the next trimester of the Around the World Make Along and we're moving on to the Western Hemisphere, I was thinking of making the Flutterbutt shirt and short set by Jessie Made. And for that, I did not bring up the yarn. I was going to use some repurposed yarn from a dress that I had made for my daughter. I'll pop it in here so you can see what I'm talking about. And it is a made out of a bamboo. I think it's a DK weight though, so I'm gonna have to look into the Flutterbutt shirt and shorts. I can't recall what weight those patterns are knit up in. So yeah, but I'm thinking that bamboo, I think it might even be a bamboo cotton blend. It would work out really well for a pair of, or like a sleep set for summer. So something like a little pair of shorts and a little, either the Flutterbutt shirt with the little frilly sleeves, or maybe a tank top. Something to sleep in on those hot summer nights. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking for future makes. And that is it for all of the knitting chat. So I'll move into life stuff. As I mentioned, we haven't really been doing much in the last 3 weeks. It's terrible. I can't think of anything specific that we've done. Like we go for walks, we go for bike rides, like we go to the park and those kinds of things, but like nothing super eventful or anything, but lots of things coming up. So next weekend, we're going up to Birch Lake to see my mom and my stepdad again. So that'll be nice. I always love going up there. It's so peaceful and relaxing. It's so nice to get out of the city and just be in nature. So I'm hoping the weather cooperates and we'll actually get a swim in. And yeah, so that's happening. And then what else? Oh, I'm on vacation next week. That's a big deal for me. I'm off for the whole week. So school starts the week after. So I'm gonna have to take my daughter back to school shopping. We'll do all that fun stuff, get ready for school. I can't believe the summer I literally blinked and it's just flown by. I don't know, do you feel the same way? I don't know what it is. Is it because because we've been in kind of lockdowns and we haven't been able to do anything, the days are all just kind of blending into one, and I don't know. It's just crazy. I feel like, yeah, summer's gone. But I'm ready for autumn. I'm 100% here for autumn. Can't wait. I can't wait. I've already switched all my knitting to like full on winter, autumn knitting, I feel like anyways. So I'm ready, I'm prepared. And I think, like I said, we're gonna go visit my mom, and we have a wedding to go to, or at least a reception in 2 weeks after next weekend. My aunt is getting married, which is so exciting for her. And yeah, so that'll be nice. And that's in North Bay, so that's not too far from us, about an hour and a half drive, I think, something like that. And what else? Oh, we've picked up wedding planning finally. So for those who don't know, for newer viewers who may not know, my partner proposed to me last October, and it was right in the midst of pandemic time, and everything was in lockdown, and we weren't allowed to see anybody, and it was just so difficult to think about even planning a wedding. Like I couldn't even envision it. I couldn't envision how we would even get together to do that. So with the restrictions lifting more recently, we've turned our attention back to it. So we haven't set an exact date, but we're aiming for August of next year. We've picked a venue. We just haven't solidified the plans. They're in the process of updating their packages right now, so still waiting for that to be done. And then as soon as that's done, then we'll nail down the date and start moving forward. So yeah, it feels a lot more real now. It feels like it's coming together, and yeah, it's going to be so much fun. So that's happening. And other than that, I think that is it. I've just been enjoying my backyard, and lots of flowers in bloom, but they're nearing the end of their blooming stages. So yeah, I think fall and winter are going to be here before we know it. And again, I'm fine with it. Oh, there is an update. I have been befriending all of our native wildlife here in our backyard. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen some footage of me feeding the chickadees out of my hand, and the chipmunks out of my hand. And yeah, I've run out of seeds, so now they're very disappointed in me. So I have to really get to the store and get some more. But just a tip for all of you who've never tried it: if you have black-capped chickadees around, or chipmunks, they're very friendly, and it doesn't take long. Like, it literally took me a day, not a day. I didn't sit out here all day trying. So it took me about, I don't know, I'd say about an hour or so to try. It really helps if you have empty feeders, because they're kind of forced to come to your hand. Not that I advocate like starving your critters, but it does help. And yeah, so that's been fun. I'm your resident Snow White over here. Next up are the squirrels, although they're a little more timid. I've been bitten by a red squirrel trying to feed it, so I'm a little more hesitant with those. The black squirrels we have are pretty friendly, though. I think I could probably win them over. So that'll be next. And I had someone comment, I think it was Magda. Oh no, she sent me a message. Magda was saying she feeds her robins out of her hand, I think is what she said. And I asked her how she did it, and she said they use suet pellets. And yeah, the robins love them. I'd never even thought of it. So that might be something I try for next year. Stay tuned. Anyways, I'll leave it there. I hope you all have a wonderful next 3 weeks, and that you find a bit of joy and sunshine, and yeah, just wishing you all warm thoughts, and I'll see you all in 3 weeks. Bye.